is how you niggas getting down. I'm so high up, I'm like, how niggas really getting down. I could never have a kid, then be out here still kidding around, boys playing around. Where you really wanna take it now? I got $150,000 for an after party, and I gave it to the killies just to break it down. Bring us up, I never take us down, but if you bring me up, then they might take it down. Fake fuck with me back then, but it's getting hard for you to fake it now. Fuck being rich when I'm 40, man, I'm trying to make it now.
Hell no, never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Park the beam just to ride the rave. $10 million gotta hide the safe. Michael Phelps with the swim moves. Michael Jordan with the tennis shoes. Quavo, young nigga, I invented you. Ike Turner with the left hand. Griselda Blanco with the trap moves. Gangland with the right hand. Undertaker with the tattoos. Never listen to the classroom. Switch it up, they bit the last moves. I'm a magnet for bad bitches. You got the going outside bitches. I spent the 50 on a chain. You spent your last 50. I got the key to the streets. You got the key to defeat. I got the key to the war zone. You got the key to the peace. Hell no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Park the beam just to ride the rave. $10 million gotta hide the safe.
We gon' go live, we gon' go live, yup. We gon' go live, we gon' go live, yup. Getting loose, yeah. Off a Henny Rock and a Henny Goose, yeah. Ocean deep in my swimming pool, yeah. Throwing dead prayers in my living room, yeah. Taking shots, feeling bulletproof. Flood my roller, told my bitch, let's go snorkel. Out in Portland, tryna get in her organs, yeah. No, I did not sign with Jay, but I still send a tidal wave, yeah. I might just go get the fade, buy the do-rag and just tidal waves, yeah. It's lit at the crib, you can stay. Me and Dre kick like kid and play, yeah. The way that she serving that cake, I gotta sit back and digest. I guess, for the fuck shit, I'm biased. I mix, double the cup when I stress. Got my mama out the basement, that's a different type of facelift. Remix me about the bracelets, don't hit us asking what the wave is.
Hell no, never let these niggas ride your wave. No, no way, no. Never let these niggas ride your wave. No.
Today, we're going to talk about Dinger Tuesday plays, MLB winners on the diamond, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Davey Martinez has to go. He is not a good coach. He wasn't a good coach in 2019. He got carried by Howie Kendrick, Juan Soto, Ryan Zimmerman. Davey Martinez has not done shit for this team. He is a bad manager, and it is showing right now. What's wrong with cracking a V8 during the Caps game?
Cracking a V8, dude?
Down, trying
Is
to
this a
take
Coors Light,
relax.
Krabs? It's
your
vegetable
night
juice. Like going home and saying, I'm just going to crack a V8 while watching the Caps game. Like, you need to be put in an asylum. You know, the fastball heavy approach gets a Mets team that is just crushing baseballs and getting no results, not just yesterday, but the whole lineup has been hitting the ball hard and had nothing to show for it, especially recently. Now you get a fastball heavy Ryan Nelson that has his struggles against lefties, and you have a lot of those guys that have been extremely unlucky that are going to see him from the left side.
Bringing in George Pickens. Surely this works out for the Dallas Cowboys. Surely bringing in another veteran here who's toxic, cancer in the locker room, a me guy. Surely that helps out this Cowboys team that already has plenty of those. Jerry Jones, my man, you did it again. What is going on, chat? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 706 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you are not tracking your bets on Pickets, how many times do we got to tell you? All right, start tracking your bets over there today. At least go check out the app. It could not be easier. I know you guys got some time. All it takes is 5 minutes to go check out Bookit Sports on the App Store or Google Play. Download that puppy and check out the 100+ features for, the daily sports bettor. Go check out the best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. Jovan, I had a shit day yesterday, but you know what? You carried and the squad ride hit. Good fucking shit, dude. Sure we can.
Maybe squad rides.
Sure we can.
Love that. Love that.
Sure we fucking can.
Shout out the Mr. Dick Fitz. Second worst outing maybe of year behind Brandon Fott against your Nats.
Yeah, Dick Fitz is bad at ball.
Really bad.
Bad at ball.
Horrific.
Shout out Mikey Overs for a crazy trend he was talking about, or a crazy nug he was talking about on TMA. First time ever at Fenway Park, the opposing teams hit 3 home runs in the first inning, which sounds crazy to me. I feel like that would have happened already at Fenway Park, but that's pretty nuts.
That's crazy.
And the Angels, they showed up, man. They showed up and they showed out. We'll talk about that game today, Kikuchi versus Bayo, but wanted to give you your flowers, Jovan. Great call on that over.
Love that.
Let's fucking go, dudes.
Can't let it get swept, too. You had a pretty good over on the card.
There was one. Why don't we take a peep at the recap?
In our favorite
yesterday?
ballpark.
Yeah. Sacramento. Sure we can. We got Nerfy Chad coming in hot with a resub for 40 months. Wow, Nerfy Chad, those don't grow on trees. You're him. He's saying, let's have a day, fellas. Only option we got. And now we got a hype train moving and grooving, Jovan. Sure we can. W's.
Wow. Love that on a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday, starting up right at the beginning of BTL. We got Like Lightning coming in hot, resubbing as well for 28 months. Like Lightning, you're him. Sadly, it's Fuck Krabs week. Go Cubs go. # gratitude. Yeah, big series coming up. Big series starting up tonight. Yeah. Let's see how good these Nats really are. Coming home, pressure's on. Seats might be filled a little bit. Big series against a good team in the Cubs. Tough pitching matchup tomorrow, but today we got no excuses against fucking Horton. Here's a who up there on the bump for the Cubbies. So if we can't put up runs against him, that's on us. Not saying the guy's moose shit, but he's nothing to write home about. He's no all-star, right? We got to go out there and hit the righty. We'll see if the Nats bats stay hot after a day off yesterday. I got some faith. That totals at 9.5 as well. And Trevor Williams is also coming off a shutout, so we can probably guess how he's going to do. I have a feeling we'll be coming back to this game to talk about Dinger Tuesday plays in a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah.
Might be tapping in?
Dinger Tuesday and maybe a little before that.
Okay. Wow. I'm excited. Excuse me. I'm excited now. Good. I appreciate you guys, Chad and Like Lightning. You guys are goated. All right, why don't we hop in and we could talk about some of the plays for today? Because you're talking about the Nats, and I want to see what play you're on in this game. I don't even know what it is yet. We'll start with mine. I got a play that starts up, no early games, but 6:40 Eastern, fading the Taco and fading Paul Skeens. Am I happy about it? No. Do I think it's a winner? Oh, yeah. That's why it's up here. And Jovan, looking at that 1.5 run square for Skeens, certainly doesn't hurt seeing that puppy up there as well, but might take a couple more than 2 for them to win this game. But if they can get 2 off of Skeens, I think they're in a pretty good spot with this total sitting at 7.5 and dropping. To be honest with you, Jovan, I was shocked to see the Astros open up at +120 with McCullers on the bump. He's bad, but he showed some signs of life in that last appearance, and I believe in him. And I want to fade Skeens against a veteran lineup who's not afraid to take some pitches. Could be a bad recipe for Mr. Skeens up there on the bump. And looking at that earned run square, I think he's good to give up at least 2. Looking at this low total, could be all they need. The Astros, I know they're up to +135 now. That's because everybody on earth is probably fading the Astros and betting Paul Skeens and the Pirates, who are now up to -160. I'll take the Stros, and I'll fade Skeens. Give me the ML.
Certainly. Love that. A little like plus, 130, 140. Start your day, Krabs.
Yeah. Well, +130 never hurt nobody.
Never did. Never did.
No. Cannot be afraid of the plus sign and cannot be afraid to sub up, chat. We got a hype train and moving and grooving. Minute 40 left. We'll see if that puppy keeps on rolling. All right. Swinging around to Jovan's plays. I got to see what play he has in this Nats game. Enough is enough. Ooh.
We starting there? Or?
No, we don't have to start there, but I was just extremely curious. We'll finish there. That could be the perfect way to end.
I feel like you probably could have taken a pretty solid guess at what that one was going to be, Krabs.
I know you're an all-time Trevor Williams hater.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
For great reason. But
yes,
today, all-time good pitchers hater, because we got Hunter Green and Freddie Peralta on the bump, which we were talking about this earlier in the call. I don't know how in God's name there was only 5 runs in that game yesterday, which was great because led to a Berg win. Shout out Berg with Krabs. But that there were so many base runners, so much platter, just unbelievable. I mean, you got Singer walking in runs, and I don't know how the Cubs or how the Brewers didn't score any more runs after that. A lot of runners left in the scoring position that entirety of the game. They were edging. That game easily could have had double-digit runs in it, and a lot of overbettors that were on the feed were bitching about it, rightfully so. Now, after that game, you see 8 to 8.5 with Hunter Green, Freddie Peralta on the bump. What does that make you think, Krabs?
Certainly makes me think there's some runs aloof in this game tonight.
Some runs aloof, especially because we're getting to that point in the season where I feel like we get to it all the time with Freddie Peralta, where he's put together a handful of like I'm not going to say elite starts, but we're starting to get to that point where he's been rather consistent in terms of like the runs he's given up. So, but in reality, he hasn't really been all that good. He's been very fortunate. And the reason for that is he's not really getting deep into games anymore. Like he hasn't gone 6 innings in 4 starts. And a lot of these games, like the last one he just had, he threw 5 innings and that was through 108 pitches against the Red Sox. So he's extremely inefficient. He's walked, I don't know, multiple guys in all 4 of those last couple starts. So he's not really been the ace that your numbers that you see like on the box scores would tell you that he's going to be. So like against this Reds lineup that is not quite Brewers patient, but they're starting to become more patient as the kind of season goes on. I think that could be another issue again. And I think this is where the seal finally breaks. He's been in that same like Zach Gallen group of last year where it's not like the hard contact. He's getting super lucky, but he's stranding a lot of runners on base. So he's been very fortunate that those haven't come back to bite him in the ass. And as much as I love fading Hunter Green on the other side of this for part of the same reasons, I think I'm more so relying on the Reds offense in this one because I think they're going to hop all over Freddie Peralta. And, you know, it only gets helped that you have some bullpens that are in interesting spots, especially on the Red side after Brady Singer was not great last night and didn't get very deep. But I think this game has runs written all over it. And I think the total move would tell you that.
Great sign. Seeing that total moving up from 8 to 8.5 after last night. And there was certainly more foot traffic in that game last night than we saw in the final box score. So let's hope they keep up the foot traffic. Let's put some more runs, though, in the run column in the scoreboard tonight. And nothing like seeing an over on the cards involving Hunter Green. I know there's some people in chat who tailed your season long who are bricked up seeing that puppy. Sure. Great sign.
Now we're in the summer. It's not the hottest of days, but it's hotter than it's been. He's had like I saw a tweet the other day. It was like all of Hunter Green's starts in Great American Ballpark. It's been like 65 or cooler. It's like now you're in the 80s with some wind. Have fun.
Yeah. Not going to be easy. Hopefully the wind helps a little bit. Maybe pushes the ball over the fence in Great American Ballpark tonight. I've seen it before. We'll see it again.
We haven't really been able to see too many of those this year. Like, I mean, not just the Hunter Green starts, but like we haven't really had like great American Ballpark weather all year, and it'll definitely be better than it is today, like at some point, but at least it's hot.
Will we be circling back to this game when we talk about Dinger Tuesday plays?
Are we? Yes.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited for that. W-Gate
probably
keep.
not. Yeah, probably not the side you think. It's not a Brewer.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, still in that game, still a great sign for the over in that game. We will circle back. We'll talk about that when we get to the Dinger Tuesday plays. For now, let's keep powering through these straight bets. Got a couple more for the peeps. Another plus chicken play on the books, the Snakes. Look, I don't like backing Zach Gallen. I don't think he's good. But Spencer Strider, I want to fade still until he starts looking like his old self. I know he's starting to get there, but he's still not fully there. And I want to take advantage of a bad line, in my opinion, too much line respect for Atlanta here in this spot, who opened up around, I don't know, minus 155, minus 150, depends on where you're looking. The line's held pretty well. Everybody and their mother's going to be fading Gallen, back in the Braves at home, and back in Strider to continue to get better every start he makes. And I do think eventually he will figure it out, but right now I want to keep fading him. The D-backs were on a crazy cold streak of late, but they finally got a win last night, or in their last game, which is massive, against the Nats 2 nights ago, They finally stopped the bleeding. That one meant more. And I'm hoping that kind of, ends their cold streak here. They show up on the roads, and they hand the Braves another loss. By the way, the Braves are still in 4th place. Is in 3rd in the NL East. The Nats, crazy. #Natitudes. But I want to fade the Braves and Strider when he continues to come back and still, shake the dust off, shake the rust off a little bit here. And I'm going to back the Snakes coming off that big-time win on Sunday. Lock them in on the ML.
I could see that. I don't know if Gallen's going to be a reason you win this bet, Krabs, but the bats might be.
Okay. If that's what it is, that's what it is. But Gallen does have some interesting squares up there on Prize Picks to make me think, he's not going to go out there and maybe throw a no-hitter, but at least make me think he's going to be serviceable, especially that pitching out square where I feel like if he was really going to get mucked up, although I know their bullpen is bad, but I feel like this is also a good sign for, the D-backs on the ML here, seeing his pitching outs up from 17, got bumped up to 17.5, Jovan. Very fucking Reds. Has not eclipsed this number in his last 4 starts. And now he's facing a solid lineup in the Braves on the road.
Yeah. You're going to need him. Need him to go those 6. You need like a 6-run buffer with the D-backs bullpen to even feel like the slightest bit comfortable.
Horrendous bullpen, yes.
So bad.
And yeah, Billy the Kid. Nats still a half game up on the
Good.
Braves. See how long
Good.
that lasts. All right. Yeah, I will not be tailing the Nats today, Buffoon. Don't you worry, my man. I'm in Nats timeout. I'm not allowed to take them.
I don't know if you're in Nats timeout. They're seeing beach right now, Krabs.
Well, as soon as I start betting them again, bad things might start happening.
It's
I don't need
also
to hop
true.
in now.
Also true.
Sit it out, kick the feet up, and see what happens. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no Nats from me for the foreseeable future. I mean, since I put them in the bin, they've been the hottest team in baseball. So
Yeah.
why make changes now?
Maybe keep them in the bin. It'll be
Keep
good.
them in the bin for a little bit, Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. All right. Goots, what do you got, bro? You got something for the peeps? Yeah. The Brewers are probably actually the hottest team in baseball, and they're plus 110 with their ace on the bump. I do like runs in that game, but I also kind of like the Reds. Wouldn't mind going back to them after getting shafted last night, locking them in on the ML. But again, fading streaks in baseball, it's not worth it. And I got reminded that last night. It's just simply not worth putting your coins on it either way.
Yeah, you're right.
If anything, you back streaks. Like I was looking at the Blue Jays today. I almost put them on here on the Sharp Report, and I certainly like them. I'm going to stay off because it's, pretty public trendy dog. But the line's moving in their direction. The Phillies have lost 4 in a row. Toronto has won a bunch of games in a row. It's baseball. You can bet on a team to continue their streak. Any other sport, you will never hear me say that. But unfortunately, I've learned my lesson on the Diamonds, and that's simply just facts. That's just the case.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't, but it is. You can't fade streaks on the Diamonds. Shout out your brew crew last night. Gave me a good old reminder of that shit. So I won't be on the Reds ML. I'll just tell you're over. And we're good to go.
There you go. To be fair,
Okay.
that's probably my way of taking the Reds without backing the Reds directly. That's like the Hunter Green's giving up some turkeys, but Freddie's giving up more play.
Yep. Got the YouTube chat up and moving here as well.
Let's
2
go.
words and attitudes. W match,
Attitude.
W joke, W sense of humor, W and attitudes. 3 words, boots on ground. Well, Zach, that's actually 3 words. So that's not actually that funny, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll try again later.
The thought was there. The thought was there.
The thought was there. It was a good try. We got Team Comeback lurking in the YouTube as well. Top of the morning. Sure we can. We got Yo, What's Up, A. We got Sebastian lurking in the YouTube chat as well. Want to shout out the goats over there. I know we got most of the gentlemen in the Twitch chats, but we still got some goats lurking in the YouTube. Can't forget about them. Okay? Dubs. Yeah, did that cricket play hit or what, guys? I'm seeing right now. It looks like
cake.
absolute cake.
I saw some bitching on feed from Trent.
But somebody came on the search stream and they promised that their dad said it was a winner.
We have life.
No shot. There's life.
Yeah.
Also, those games can go on for days. So he might be sweating that shit out all week.
Trent was showing me yesterday that Drake posted a random slip on the feed of that play.
No shot, dude.
Nuking.
No shot. Drake was nuking cricket.
Yeah, nuking cricket.
You think he's watching it, or is he just throwing a fucking whale?
I don't know.
Trent, we got life. Good to see they're back to a pick'em. Sure we can. Okay.
It's unbelievable.
That is insane. Would love some updates on that if you guys get them, but I know this game sometimes take like a whole week, so let me know.
Games take decades.
Yep. Team Comeback in the YouTube saying some cool stuff here with Trout / Acuna back and Freddie in bump. Freddie in bump. Today marks the first 6-man goat whale eclipse of the season.
Wow.
Team Comeback is saying.
Love
Unbelievable.
Love the group together Trout and Acuna mention. Shout out
Sure.
Trout yesterday hitting one to Mars.
Yes.
Acuna
great
might do
call.
the same thing today.
Wow. Well, that would not be very good for my D-backs ML play, but
Hey, it might just be one. Might just be one to start the game.
damn, and that's not even in your Dinger Tuesday cards. You came with
No, but it's
plethora
somewhere
of
else though.
winners.
It's somewhere else.
Okay. Got a feeling we'll be talking about Acuna here in a moment. Krabs, thoughts on the Wizards championship run attempt last night on Sweats? I mean, look, if they can't do it, nobody can. If the squad can't, will them to a championship, I know they didn't play it for that long, but if they couldn't do it, make the trades, get that team in a championship, then nobody can. The Wizards are cursed. I don't care if it's 2K or real life. They're never winning shit.
You know who else is cursed? Whole company in terms of getting a natty.
Yeah,
They tried.
because
Tried with
they
Colorado
pivoted
last
to
night. Lost
college
in the
football.
natty.
Right? Yeah,
Just unbelievable.
light's too bright, man.
Way too bright.
Light's
I mean,
too
I've
bright.
won plenty of them with the Irish off camera. So
Okay.
It's different when the lights are bright and you're playing, on the Twitch stream, especially with a group. With a group, it's so hard. So you got to all be on the same page whole time.
Happage going yardage. We'll talk about Hap in a moment, Buffoon. We'll talk about him in a sec. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. We got a couple other plays to go over. I want to hear this Red Sox sell job.
Yeah. So that was kind of my way of taking the Angels without taking the Angels and taking that over yesterday. And I'm glad it played out like it did. Wasn't willing to put the meat on tape for Tyler Anderson. And I mean, that would have been nice. Definitely started feeling a lot better about that decision as the Red Sox started to come back, but they didn't win the game. I think they win today. And I know you may not love this because of some of the squares that are up in this game, but I don't think anybody really likes Brian Bayo. But the thing is, he has been the same hold true for the entirety of his career so far in the minors and the majors. Horrible, horrible, horrible pitcher against lefties. Zach Neto is seeing beach balls. Trout's back and probably going to start seeing some beach balls. The whole lineup, really outside of Nolan Shanuel, the righty. So, this is a start that I think, even if Brian Bayo is not lights out, absolutely dominant, I do think he's going to have a pretty solid start. And I also think he's going to give them some depth, too, out of the game, which is pretty, I don't want to say badly needed because their bullpen's, not really in a bad spot because they piggybacked, Dobbins yesterday. So, even though, I don't know, Dick Fitz went, only through the first inning, and Dobbins pitched 60 pitches after that. So, they have their normal set of bullpen arms for the most part available, but I think he's going to have a pretty solid start tonight. And on the other side, Kikuchi's had a really interesting last couple of starts. I know you've tried to fade him a couple times, and that Yankee start last time was certainly infuriating, but somehow he's gotten away with it. Only given up 2 runs in the past 3 starts, but in those 3 starts, he has 13 walks. And guess who is, I guess, third right now in walk rate against lefties, which you probably wouldn't expect in all of baseball. It's the Red Sox, which, again, is odd when you think you have Duran and Devers up there, but they're starting to both heat up now. And I guess Duran had a great game. Maybe that'll be the same for the entirety of the month. But Devers is seeing beach balls, and I don't think it's going to be any different tonight. So I think Kikuchi gets touched up, and the bats come out a little hotter than they did yesterday, especially when they were immediately down 6 runs to start the game. So I like the Red Sox to close it today. And again, usually I would be first 5 with the Red Sox, but being the fact that they didn't really use any important arms yesterday, they'll have their full normal set of guys going. I'm in for the full game. Just say they ain't losing 2 in a row to the Angels.
I mean, yeah, after the last night's destruction from the Angels, certainly would not mind going back to the Sox here. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't end up being destruction, which is crazy.
Yeah, just
But
started
that way.
Okay. Well, maybe the second half Sox continue their momentum. They carry it into the beginning of this game and get some early runs, some early bangs against Kikuchi.
Yeah,
I did
start
not have
seeing him a little bit
today, and could be a good sign for you. Because I've been trying to fake Kikuchi for a month and it has not worked. He keeps getting away with it. Maybe today's the day when I did not have an inclination to do it. Okay.
There we go.
Good sign.
Definitely
Good
helps
sign.
too. Red Sox bullpen's fine, but Angels kind of shoved everything out to win that game. So I don't even know who's going to be available for them. Kenley pitched, Naris pitched, Detmers and Zephyr both pitched, which they're the lefties in there that you would want in terms of facing Duran and Devers and the whole top of that lineup. So God knows who we're going to see for the Angels today once we get into the back half of the game.
Pip saying Trent and Drake got a splooge on feed. They're up to minus 180 live.
Wow.
I saw Sonny Dutchy in the chat saying their best batsman is out for the opposing team. That's a great sign for Trent.
We get pinch hit for?
I don't know. I guess maybe he didn't play or something. Who knows? It's not over yet, though, he's saying. Okay. Yep. Keep us in check, Sonny Dutchy. Appreciate you, though, boss. Any updates are welcome. All right. Zach Mower in the YouTube chat is asking for a Met Square boots on ground. I promise you we'll get you one. Stick with us. I got a guy I want to talk about in a little bit in that game. I think might be hitting a nuke. Okay.
Goodness.
For now, let's swing it around. We got one more book play for the peeps. How about a first 5 under? Nasty first 5 under in a game that involves a pitcher coming back from an 18-month rehab. That should go well for the Tigers. And then the White Sox have our guy up here, Shane Smith, who I actually like. And he's got a weird-looking earned runs allowed square up there on the books after the Tigers just splooged and had a bazillion runs in that game last night. 13-1, they won that game, and Jovan, absolutely absurd. They destroyed them. Thought about maybe taking the White Sox, but then I remembered, wow, they are actually a terrible ball club. And at this point, I'm really not looking to, get involved with the White Sox, although I certainly lean that way at plus 145. And I don't even care if, the Tigers are up to minus 175. They opened up at minus 155, and that's short in this game. So that's a great sign for Shane Smith, in my opinion. But I'm going to take this a little one step further, and I'm going to back both pitchers to go out there and shove when the people least expect it. Nobody expects Shane Smith to go out there and shove. I know he's been solid this season, but the Tigers just put up 13 runs yesterday. The Tigers have one of the best young offenses in baseball. Nobody expects the White Sox to silence those bats, right? So I'll get in, get out. I'll keep the bullpens out of it. I'll just back Shane Smith, and I'll take, the first 5 under here, and then I will hold my breath when this guy goes out there for the Tigers, making his first start in 18 months after a crazy rehab. Who the heck wants to bet on that, kids? Well, I've been seeing he's doing pretty darn well in the minors, coming off a 5-inning, 1-run performance where he had pretty good stuff. So for now, if he can stay healthy, I like his chances in silencing the White Sox bats once again. If we're being real, it could be me or Jovan up there on the bump, and we're probably holding the White Sox to 2 or less runs. So we're not asking for much here. Keep the bullpens out of it, although I would not have minded to have the Tigers bullpen involved. It's really the White Sox bullpen I don't want involved at all. So I will isolate, take the first 5 under 4.5.
Sure. I could be in on that. It's a scary play, I guess, with the injury involved, but the White Sox are on the other side. It's not the scariest, I guess.
No. People in chat are talking about the weather again, I bet.
That could be how you know the game's going to happen. So
here come the weathermen, huh, Walker?
Good check.
Sure. Looks like that game will be played 100% certainties. 0 doubts, 0 delays. We got Stanley the Clove coming in hot resubbing. Let's go, Stan the man. Atta boy. He says, Jovan, how about them Vols?
The Vols, dude. I don't know
what that
how they
pitcher
got
who
it done.
thinks he's Max Scherzer.
Yeah. Rightfully so. I mean, he's absolutely lights out. But
is that kid going in the first round? Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, he's a nut job, dude.
Lefty throws 99. The coach said the guy thinks he's in a bar fight when he's out there on the field. He's always trying to fight people.
Literally.
I mean, yeah, as he should, dude.
I want him on my team.
I would assume he's the top prospect not named. I guess he could be ahead of him at this point, but like ahead of
Jamie.
Not ahead of Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's one of the most electric postseasons in all of sports, and not enough people talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, this tournament's crazy. This is like this is the year of the mid-major, which is nuts, and the year of the SEC being overrated for the 3rd time in a tournament, which is hilarious. Just unbelievable. Murray State in Oxford, dude. Horrible.
Sure they can. We got Step Back Harden coming in hot resubbing. Almost 2 years, boys. Keep crushing it. Step Back Harden, you're him, bro. We now have a hype train moving and grooving. Can confirm. It is both moving and grooving. W Hype Train, W Stanley the Clove, and Step Back Harden. Getting involved, dropping some subbies. Sure. All right. Cade Anderson is the best pitcher in ball. Ooh. Okay, SBR.
I'll accept that.
SBR, what do you think about my first 5 under 4.5 in the Tigers and White Sox game? Would love to hear your thoughts. Okay. Let me know. Wow, we got some more subbies coming in. Everybody shitting on the Nats right now. Jovan, Alex F80 coming in hot. Cubs or Wagons? Okay.
Well, let's talk about that game too.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Shitting on the Nats, but they're seeing beach balls, dude. And I frankly want to be on that side until they cool down, Krabs, especially when you get to face, I don't know, Cade Horton, great prospect, Sooner legend, and he's looked really good so far to start this year, but look at who he's faced. He's faced the entire list of worst offenses in the league outside of like the Mets, but even like the Mets, that was at a point where they were super cold offensively. That was before they even heated up to the point where they are now. So you saw the Mets, you saw the White Sox, you saw the Marlins, and you saw the Rockies. So simply to say that, I don't know, a 4 ERA in those games simply does not move me, especially against this Nats team that has a bunch of lefties that can hurt them, has a bunch of lefties with pop that can hurt them. And I think I want to ride the wave. We're talking about riding streaks. This is the one I want to ride in terms of this Nats offense staying hot and producing runs. And I think the matchup is there to do so. Both bullpens suck in this game as well, but you also have Trevor Williams on the other side, who, you know, as well as everybody, is just bad, coming off of a great start, but he lives and dies. But when he has his good starts, he definitely lives with, I don't know, producing these ground balls, keeping it low in the zone, and teams just roll over and they don't have a great approach against it. But how many home runs, how many extra base hits have you seen this Cubs team have on pitches low in the zone? They're one of the best low zone hitting teams in all of baseball. Like PCA is great at it. Kyle Tucker is great at it, even from the right side. Like Seiya Suzuki is great out of it, even though like you probably want a lefty in all of the goats against Trevor Williams. But regardless, like this Cubs team is not the one to attack down in the zone. And if you're Trevor Williams, that's your only method of operating that really gives you any sort of success. So it's probably an issue. So like, I don't think the start's going to be nearly as successful as it was last time out. So I mean, I would love to fade Trevor Williams off of a shutout, even if he was playing the fucking Rockies, but especially against this Cubs lineup that I think matches up perfectly against it, you're damn right. I'm going to be fading him. So 2 pitchers I think are giving up turkeys, really, really bad bullpens, and some gifts to gift the subs from Total Slayer.
Holy
Cherry on
shit,
top.
10 piece. Hold the fry. 10 piece from Total Slayer. Let's go, Total Slayer. Sure we can. Atta babe. 10 piece. Hold it. Let's fucking go, Slayer. 10 of you guys just got blessed up and don't have to watch any more ads. I want to see you guys splooge in the chat. Let's fucking go, Slayer. Atta boy. Can we talk about the 7.5 total in Tampa? Yes, we can in a moment. We've got my local resident sharp, Dead Larry Bird, coming in hot. Here's a winning card as well. Over in Miami game. That might be where you lose me, but it's probably hitting. And I think I just can't fade Sandy Alcantara, but it's probably a good look. The Brewers over. Sure. That I could certainly get on board with. And then the over in the A's game. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell us twice. W plays.
Yeah.
W plays, especially those last 2. Hell yeah. Jovan, love the over in this game. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm good to bet on totals that involve the Nats, right? I mean, we cashed a team total the other day, but okay. All right. Cricket play is minus 300 live. No shots.
That's wild.
Let's go, Trent.
Splooging. Yes.
We got some more subbies coming in. Big Baller coming in, giving out 5 subbies. Let's go, Big Baller. Atta babe.
Ben the Baller.
Atta babe. Big Baller, him. Let's fucking go, dude. Subbies galore. Sure. All right. Keep me updated with the Punjabi Kings.
Need that update.
The cricket match. Let me know.
Let me
know. So many subbies from Total Slayer, bro. He is goated. Get it.
Unbelievable. Okay. Well, before we get to squares, Krabs, I got to tell you, Trent texted me trying to guess your squares. He thought he was him today. 0 for 3.
What was he doing?
0 for 3.
Oh, he tried to guess my squares?
Tried to guess your squares. He thought he was him.
Okay.
0 for 3.
Because he thinks I just go to the prize picks board and just take the easiest 3 plays. They look sharp.
Oh, I mean, not the easiest 3 plays. I feel like he knows the Krabs way at this point, or at least he thought he did. 0 for 3.
What do you guess? I'm curious.
What do you say? Francis earn runs, Bella earn runs, and Gallon fantasy.
More than? The more thans on those?
Yes.
See, yeah, I mean, the chart for Francis looks like certainly something I want to get involved with. But to be honest with you, dude, I kind of want to take Toronto today. Probably going to stay off. And what were the other 2? The Bayo one, certainly.
Yeah, the Bayo and then Gallon fantasy.
See, he kind of hit the nail on the head with the Gallon angle. I do have the D-backs up there, to be fair.
Yeah.
So good call. He knows me very well. Sure. Trent can put on his little Krabs contrarian hat when he wants to.
I mean, sure. Trent doesn't have any difficulty deciphering what's Krabs.
No, he just chooses
what's
to
not.
take the square supply. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
the craziest part, probably.
Full-on choice.
he knows what's sharp and what's square, which most people don't, right? That's a skill. It takes time and effort, and you got to be around the game for a while, right? He chooses to do the square plays.
Yeah.
Peg, I've seen worse attempts. I'll give him some credit. He hit with that the D-backs angle and Gallon because I am on the D-backs ML, and I will certainly be taking a Gallon square. It might be that more than pitching outs. Who knows? The one I was talking about earlier. But yeah, Trent, you're pretty close there, my man.
Yeah.
Pretty close. We got a hype train moving to Krabs and Jovan. Level 5. Whoa.
Huge. Love that.
Hell yeah. Dubs. Trent, I hope that cricket play hits for you, man. And yes, the Rockies team total under is 100% going to be free today. 100%. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and responsibly lock that puppy in because I kept that off the Sharp report. And for that reason, because I said if I don't take it, it's going to be the freest play ever. I will take a martyr/sacrifice approach here. I'll let you guys cash one here. Free bingo square. The team total for the Rockies under. Whatever the number is, just take it.
Maybe that counted as one, but we were talking about this yesterday too. Whenever you kind of square up with the easier plays, Krabs, like you're him. I think the A's over probably qualifies as that.
Yeah,
the A's over.
But the Rockies team total under would be in that category too.
Well, I know. I was giving you that one. But like A's over, you take that. You take Skeens. He has the greatest start of the season. You took Jordan. He hit one of his like 3 nukes of the year. So when you get in your bag, that's when Trent starts listening.
Taking goats. Sure. A's over today. Now Z Bully's asking the right questions. And yeah, 2 more sleeps until hilarious. 2 messages from our goats, Fruity and Madul. Only 2 more sleeps till Trent's in Pacers piss. And then Madul comes in and says only 2 more sleeps until the CFL. They are not the same, folks. But 2 goats, 2 great comments. I'm excited for both. I'm excited for OKC piss. And I'm excited for Madul's CFL whale on Thursday. No rush. Please don't force it, Madul. And if you don't have anything, you don't have anything. And holy shit, dude.
Wow, sploogers.
Dude. Chat. 50 subs?
Is that a 50 piece? I can only see the 10.
Dude, Jovan. A 50 sub whale from Nerfy Chat just came in fresh off the presses.
Trent's
Are you
so
kidding me,
mad.
dude?
Trent's actually furious.
Are you kidding me, Nerfy Chats?
50-piece chicken McNugget.
Dude, 50 snack wraps. Load them up.
Wow.
Snack wraps are back, by the way. And not enough people are talking about it.
Those are back.
And now's probably not the time because Chad just dropped 50 subbies. We should probably talk about him for a little bit more. But
50 snack wraps, though.
I mean, 50 snack wraps. Or 50 subbies. What are you picking? I might be going 50 subbies from Nerfy Chad.
50 subbies from Nerfy Chad and a little side piece from OG Sour and 38 to God, too.
Little side dish. Little side dish action here.
Love side dishes.
We got 38 the Gods coming in hot, resubbing. OG Sour coming in, resubbing. And again, guys, if you just got blessed up and there's 50 of you that just did the chats, so you guys better be speaking up, showing some love in the Twitch. 50 of you guys just got blessed up with a free subby from our GOAT, Nerfy Chad. Chad, you are him.
If you got one, give yourself a little hashtag thank you, Chad and Chad.
Hashtag thank you, Chad. Hashtag thank you, Fruity. Yes, he's probably been tailing all of Fruity's plays on the ice. Fruity, I just locked in the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. Surely that goes well.
They're winning.
Minus 120. I locked it in. So go ahead and pencil in Florida Panthers ML plus 110 as a freebie in game 1. But I locked him in at minus 120 before the show.
I think that's
good bet.
It's probably the most confident I've felt about a championship outcome outside of maybe the Eagles.
Well, that just got me absolutely bricked up. Maybe that unit is safe that I placed earlier. It might be safe.
We'll be dropping units.
Minus 120. I saw some books had it at minus 130 already. That shit is moving and grooving. I mean, look, I know they're home for game 1. They're minus 130, in game 1. So obviously, maybe the series price will be a little bit skewed based on them predicting Edmonton to win game 1 with them being home and favorites. So, I mean, maybe it's not the craziest thing ever to see them, open up a pick 'em, but to see them now at minus 120, minus 130 some places.
It's pretty crazy. I was for sure expecting a plus sign, regardless of home ice.
Right.
Wow,
I mean, that's pretty weird. Defending
Caleb Mark's
champ.
guard
Best
as
game.
5-piece gets swept.
Hmm.
Shout out Mark's guard. Goated.
Parlay Oilers with OKC, just like Celtics Panthers last year. Trent,
Minus 700.
honestly, dude, I've heard worse. Just be responsible, or at least responsible for you. Okay? W Koala picks. Hope you boys are having a great day. I hope you're having a good day, Koala picks. For him, bro.
Shout out
Does
Koala.
Skinner continue to stand on heads? Shit, man. I
Well,
hope so.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more when we get there. I guess starting tomorrow. But
Tomorrow, yeah.
I love the fact that Skinner to start. One of the reasons I feel so confident in the Oilers actually getting it done is the fact that Skinner got fucking yanked to start the playoffs because he was so fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Came back
He's locked in since
and then
then,
he's
right?
locked in since then. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's something that I want to ride going into the Cup.
Yeah, I think he was a little nervous or something, and whatever they did, I mean, it woke him up. Let's hope he continues the momentum and having a couple of days off doesn't throw him off again. But I'm feeling good about Skinner. I'm feeling good about the Oilers, and I'm feeling good about breaking the Canada curse. At some point, somebody's got to break through and sack up and do it. I think it could be this team with the best player on the planet.
And then
And that's coming from me, a Caps fan.
Following the GOAT model of getting your first cup, like Gretzky and Crosby. Getting the rematch in the second year against the same team. Just classic formula.
Okay. Could be the difference. I mean, it's absurd to see them at minus 130 against the Panthers team. Come on.
Really
Come
absurd.
on. Maybe they're about to get us all in the craziest fucking, fake sharp line of all time for a series. Who knows? Because I know a lot of smart people who are taking this too. It's not just us. There's a lot of people on this shit. A lot of people like the Oilers. Scares me a hair. But to hear you say you like it, yeah, I mean, it's a rematch. It's a must play. I'm not saying it's got to be 10 units, but it's a mandatory, 1 unit must play. Oilers to win the series.
Yeah.
Okay. People also forget we got a level 10 hype train right now on a BTL Tuesday with only 15 seconds left. Get involved. We got Mark Scar coming in, dropping a 5-unit sub whale. Mark, you are him, bro. Appreciate you greatly, dude. Hope you're having a great day. W Mark. Sure.
Mark's so
wow. W hype train level 10. RIP 2025, 2025. Great hype train. Level 10s don't grow on trees, folks. They don't. Am I crazy for saying the Panthers might be the sharp side and Oilers are square? I don't think you're crazy. I disagree. But I kind of get the vibe that you're saying, Davey Martinez burner, and that's kind of what I was just talking about. A lot of people on the Oilers, sharps, haven't seen too many squares, but some, right? And maybe they're getting us on the craziest fake sharp future with these lines. If they do, I'll tip cap. That's why I'm betting it responsibly, but I cannot resist. And hearing Jovan and the confidence he's got, I'm in.
I will say a little bit of that confidence too is one of my friends, the same friend that I always tell you about, just worst better of all time. He knows it too.
We all got him. Yep.
Yeah, we all got him. Sent a text to me the other day. He's like, this is how I initially got to look at the line. That and a couple people DM me too, showing the line. But he goes, there is actually no chance the Panthers are underdogs in this series. I might make my biggest bet of all time. And I was shocked to hear that. I was like, wait, they're underdogs in the series, and I went to go look, and lo and behold, slight dogs.
Bless his heart. Oh,
but it's actually not Trent, which is crazy. Trent is even more self-aware. Again,
Trent knows what's sharp and what's not. He just likes to go with the plays that make sense, and that's okay. That's okay. You do you. Rowdy, I do not know when they drop the Grand Salami, but I know that's your thing. And I'm hoping they drop that for you soon, my man. Keep those eyes peeled. Maybe they're still waiting for some lineups. Maybe they're still waiting for some rain delays. Who knows? Okay. Krabs, I'm placing my first and probably only 500 future on Fruity POD. Wow, Pega. Wow. Sure you can. That is a fatty Pega. Good luck.
Donations everywhere.
Donation,
right, let's get some squares and circle back to Cup tomorrow.
Okay. Plenty of time to talk Cup. For now, let's talk fading Kyle Schwarber. One of the best hitters in baseball. You take a peep at that pot tab up there on Prize Picks. Sure, you took a gander over there a time or two.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, people are liking Mr. Schwarber, and do you blame him? No, you can't. Guy gets on base damn near every game. Guy gets a hit, a home run. More often than not, dude's him. Kyle Schwarber and their hitting coach, Kevin Long, their best buds. They were best buds ever since they were on the Nats together, actually. And that's when Kyle Schwarber low-key started to go nuclear, when he hit a home run every game for a month in DC. And then we fired our hitting coach, Kevin Long, and he ends up in Philly with Schwarber. And next thing you know, Schwarber turns into be one of the best hitters in baseball. Whatever. They're boys, helping each other's careers. And today we're fading the fuck out of them. We're fading them. It is what it is. I'm not happy about it. But again, guys, money's green. And I'm just here to feed you winners. I'm not here to give you plays that are easy, plays that look easy. I'm here to feed you green squares. And I got one for you right here. Kyle Schwarber, less than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Maybe the greenest chart up there on the app. Potentially the greenest chart up there on the app for today, at least in baseball. It's crazy. And the craziest part is he's even odds both sides, or minus 120 both sides on the book. So it's not like he's up there and the guy gets 2 hits, runs, RBIs a game. And he's up there for minus 120 both ways. It looks like the easiest square to push on the slate today against Francis, who, by the way, he's 2 for 3 against in his career with a home run. So all the people out there who just look at BVP nuggets and only bet accordingly based off of that and recent history, Jovan, they're all going in there on Prize Picks. Bless their hearts. It's probably your buddy who you're just talking about. He's probably getting involved too. And they're locking in Schwarber because he has 3 at-bats against the guy. Like, that matters. It's cake.
And because it's June 3rd, Krabs.
Oh, God. This is the day he hit those 3 nukes.
No, not the day, but he turns into Barry Bonds in June.
Oh, yeah. This is the month where he went nuclear for the Nats that I was just talking about in June. Sure.
I mean, he does it every year.
June is for Schwarb.
This is nuts on table, Krabs. You got June Schwarber seeing beach balls against the only pitcher still making starts, or not the only pitcher, but the pitcher that's still making starts, not named George Kirby. That is the highest home run per 9.
Should be a good look. Should be a free more than to click.
Boop. You hit that, you're actually him. You're actually him.
Gates, what were you telling me about earlier? Bookit post about Trent, and we were all up there in Toronto.
Yeah, last time Kyle was in Toronto, you guys were there. It might have been like game 2 of the series, but he hit 3 nukes on Trent.
Shout out props.cash. We had a great time with them up there. An incredible time. Those guys are freaking awesome. I hope they're in here listening. And if you guys have not checked out props.cash, could certainly be worth your time. Check out the free trial. Use code BOOKITS. I believe that's the code to get a discount if you want to get involved. Shout out props.cash. Yeah, we were up there with them having a great time. And what do you know? We're all on Toronto ML for the vibes. And Schwarber hits 3 home runs.
That was whale pissed
in that game. That was absurd. Absurd. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving because we got other squares to get to. We can't just talk about Kyle Schwarber.
You got one of the big 2 up here. That's what I'm fucking talking about, Krabs. Got you bought in or what?
You talking about Shane Smith?
Yeah.
Sure. The big 2. Talking about that starting rotation up there in Chicago?
Yeah. And Davis Martin, literally D-Wade and Braun.
Yeah, him all along. Sure. Taking the less than 2.5 earned runs for Mr. Shane Smith up there. Kind of already sold it, right? The Tigers are coming off of scoring a bazillion runs, 13 to be exact, in a game that they dominated from start to finish. Kerry Bonds, and by the way, SBR called it. Nobody's talking about it. SBR said in the chat yesterday in BTL, Kerry Bonds going nuclear. He hit 3 home runs last night.
Beat on tape.
Unbelievable call from SBR.
That's what I'm talking about.
Insane.
From SBR, man.
Insane. He knows his guys, right? Shane Smith's going to go out there and silence this Tigers lineup, who I'm sure they went out last night, had a great time, probably had some wine, probably had some steaks, probably celebrated that 13 run performance and, all these wins that they've got. They're 40-21. Talk about a fat, happy, and complacent spot. They open up the series against the White Sox with a 13-1 win, Jovan. You think they're coming in with the same mentality day 2? Come on. They're just humans, man. They're just people. I guarantee you they come in a little fatter, a little happier, and a little more complacent on a Tuesday afternoon / Tuesday night. Guarantee. Okay, can't guarantee you that Shane Smith goes more than his 2.5 run runs, although I love it. But I can guarantee you you're getting a more fat, happy, complacent Tigers lineup tonight. Take the less than earned runs allowed, Fade the offense for the Tigers after that great performance. Guys, if we were getting runs in this game again, the Tigers they'd open up way fatter than minus 154, which is a great sign for the White Sox and a great sign for Shane Smith. And the total would have opened up higher. It opened up at the same number it was yesterday after it soared over. Shout out the Tigers. Today it goes under, and Shane Smith goes less than his earned runs allowed.
Sure. Always down to back one of my goats out there.
Sure.
Always down.
Let's see what squares you're crafting up over there. Sad to see Drum F in the YouTube chat getting upset about me fading Schwarber in June. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, my man. We will see how it goes. Okay?
I mean, yeah,
Good to see you there.
it is you against like all of Twitter today, which is typically a good thing.
Typically a good thing and typically pretty standard. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Okay? What do you got for today, bro?
Start with Acuna, who I thought, to be honest with you, like I was looking at the squares for this game because I really wanted to fade Gallon, especially being that I know it's his numbers are kind of an anomaly this year. Like he was really bad at home for God knows what reason. You know, all of his career he's been lights out in Chase Field, but this year's a little different for whatever reason. He's been better on the road. I think that's going to start to even itself out, and now you're going to start on the road against the Braves. I know this is not your favorite spot to fade him, but I was looking at the squares, and honestly, I thought a lot of them, as far as like the Braves hitters go, were getting a little bit of respect. I would have expected them to be higher, especially with how bad he's been as of late, except for one guy, Acuna, which he's come back and he's been Barry Bonds immediately. And Gallon is really bad against lefties. So, like on paper, Matt Olson screaming at you, but a lot of the reason he's better against lefties or better against righties is because his fastball command has been great. You want to use your fastball command against Ronald Acuna, that pitch is going to end up just like the one Nick Pivetta threw to him in his first pitch back. It's going to be sent. Can't even go to the chop house because he's going to pull that shit 450, but that shit's going to be sent far. But I think it's a recipe for disaster. It's like one of the few righties, I think, not just because he's Acuna, but just like overall pitch mix lines up really well against Gallon. So I do think even if Gallon like wins this game or has like a somewhat decent start, I do not think it's going to be because he's dominating Acuna. I think Acuna is going to splooge on him. Plus, Gallon, I don't know if this is like deliberate or something, but he's been a little slower to the plate lately. And I know catcher's not really someone we want to target. He's one of the better defensive ones in the game, but God forbid Acuna gets on, he might start running. I know he hasn't quite done a lot of that yet just because he's just coming back, but I think you might start to see that start to tick up too. And this might be a spot where notches a steal really quick, but I think this has to be the Acuna game to set the tempo, set the tone.
Time out real quick. Love that square and sell job. I don't disagree. Even like in Gallon today, I'm sure Acuna gets his. I just hope it's a fucking solo shot. Get in, get out.
Yeah.
I'm blown, dude. Shane Smith square is gone.
No.
Shane Smith square is gone.
Rat.
I repeat, the Shane Smith square. There it goes. See ya. And you know why, Jovan?
Why is
not
that?
really surprising. Minus 135 to the under.
Wow.
Quick pull. Quick hook.
Look
Yep.
at you.
Brutal, dudes. That sucks, man. That sucks.
Drive me.
Spend all this time finding these squares, and next thing you know, it's gone. What can you do?
Pulled like Ma's pork.
What can you do? All we can do is get back to the drawing board. I'll find you guys another square or a replacement square if it doesn't go back up here by the end of BTL. Okay? No stress. For now, why don't we hear this Drew Waters sell job and why you like him? When everybody's taking Jack Caglione in his debut, you're going Mr. Drew Waters. Sure you can.
Drew Waters, the GOAT, which he's been kind of seeing him ever since he's come back, but he's always had a little bit of a strikeout problem, which again, it's like lessened a little bit, but now that he's facing one of your favorite guys to fade, Andre Palante, who he also faced, I think it was like just over a week ago, took him in that start, which they had a bunch of hits. Drew Waters didn't, but like the whole lineup as a whole had a bunch of hits. He stranded them in classic Palante fashion. Now that they're seeing him again, I do think it's going to start to turn around. So maybe the lineup as a whole just gets buzzed up in the fact that you got Cags up in the lineup and it puts the pressure on a lot of these guys to be better, and maybe they are. And I honestly think the offense shows up for the Royals today, which is probably why that total continues to climb and climb every time I look at it. But I want a lefty against Palante that I think is going to be in a lot of situations to muck the platter. And I think that's Drew Waters. So he is weirdly, out of like all the guys at the bottom of that lineup, I swear every time he's the one coming up with runners in the scoring position. I don't know what the lineup exactly is going to look like today, whether he's going to be, pushed down even further, which is a definite possibility, like behind Cags or whatever, because this guy's going to be DHing. But I think Waters is going to have to be the guy today. I just looked at his square and I was intrigued for a couple of different reasons, because I think the matchup is great, but also I was surprised that his odds were where they are, being that he just saw him and I think went 0 for 3 against him and like 0 for, I think, in the game. So this is a spot where I think he's going to have some platter, and God forbid he can do it himself too. Start a little rally, steal a base like he always does, and end up scoring depending on where he is in the lineup. So if he gets pushed down even further, that's great because that's the closer you are to Bobby Witt driving you in at the top of the lineup. So had this feeling in the plums today. The second I saw the square, couldn't get off it.
Drew fucking.
Drew fucking.
Everybody's taking Caglione. You're going with the real goat, Mr. Drew Waters. Sure.
People forget how goated he is.
Yeah.
He also started last start Hunter Green had. He started the rally, got the first run off of him, first of the two. So he's been in Hall since.
He's not afraid of some brighter lights.
No.
Man, when all the attention's on his new teammate.
The lights are not bright for Drew Waters, let me tell you.
No. Never are. Never are, never will be. I'm going to lock in the Sharp Report 3-man for now. And then I'm going to try to find you guys a replacement square as well if they don't end up putting up that Shane Smith square again. But I will lock it in, and I will drop the link in the chats while we head over to the Dinger Tuesday place. Take a peep at some of these puppies. Feast your eyes, chat. Some Dinger Tuesday whales. Some responsible whales. Okay, Josh Bell, sure we can. I'll give that sell job here in a moment. I'm sure you're all very excited to hear it. Yeah, Josh Bell's back, folks.
Seeing
by the time you all take notes. He's absolutely seeing beach balls. It's crazy. Now, look, fuck it. I'll just get right into it. I'll drop the link in a second. I'm too excited. It's Josh Bell. Okay. Josh Bell, I talked about this when he was on the Nats years ago in the first stint. There's not a guy who goes up there and hits the ball harder at times. That's a little bit more rare, but just absolutely rips the fucking cover off the ball. The majority of the time, it's he either does that or the majority, he just misses by, 2 feet in the strike zone. I've never seen a guy either barrel it up and hit the ball perfect, like a perfect shot in MLB The Show, or what's more common, the guy misses by a mile. It's never close. It's never like he's right there. He's never foul tipping a ball straight back behind home plate. What I'm trying to say is he's either dialed in or he's not, right? There's no in between for this guy, Josh Bell. He's either the worst hitter in baseball, legitimately. If this season hasn't proven that, I don't know what else will. Like, he actually was the worst hitter in baseball, hitting a $140 all season. A $140. And they left him in the lineup to marinate. Incredible. Well, now that's starting to pay some dividends. We know Josh Bell is a slow starter. He has been every single year of his career. Check the data. Slow starter every season. Typically not this slow. Typically not this bad to start out the season. But peep his stats last week. Dude is seeing absolute beach balls. And there's still time to hop on the Josh Bell bandwagon, folks, until this guy cools off. You're talking about back in the Nats bats until they cool off. This is the guy to do it with. Josh Bell, the streakiest hitter in baseball. Right now, he's piping hot. Back him tonight, +5 hundo. He's hitting one out tonight at Nats Park. He did all the damage on the roads, on that road stance. Let's not forget Josh Bell's stats at Nats Park are unbelievable. You take out this season where he struggled everywhere he's gone. Josh Bell at Nats Park, he's always seen beach balls. Now you plug in that he's the hottest hitter in baseball? My goodness. Against a fucking young righty? Horton here's a who? Dude doesn't stand a fucking chance. Good luck going against Josh Bell tonight. 300 pounds of absolute beef up there at the dish. He's about to hit a ball 400 feet dead center. Josh Bell.
I love it, Krabs. I love it. Need him to keep seeing beach. You know who else is sneakily seeing beach too?
Who?
Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's paying attention.
Dude, no
Tyler
shot.
Stevenson.
I was looking at this fucker. Let's go, dudes.
In the last week, which is crazy because he has 1 home run in the last week, and a lot of these are frankly outs, which is crazy. He has 11 balls off the bat, 100 or more. Last week, since last Monday in that game against the Royals, which that game was the game he had a home run. But he's been hitting them hard, really ever since he came back. But like especially as of late, there's a noticeable difference in how well he's seeing the ball. Now he gets to face Freddie Peralta. I think there's going to be runs, and I think a lot of them are going to be from the red side of things. And he's also weirdly short, which stands out to me a little bit. But I think Stevenson is like the key guy approach-wise to have against Freddie Peralta because this year, again, I couldn't tell you why, but it seems to be working. Freddie Peralta is much more fastball heavy, and a lot of them are just frankly challenge you in the middle of the zone or the heart of the zone and see if you can hit it. It's like Stevenson has not only been great at that, not just for the past week, but period, but he's also like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen opposite field home runs in Great American Ballpark that he's hit, especially on like a hot day like today. So if you're getting the fastball at any part of the zone or you're getting the off speed, which that's probably been the biggest key of like Freddie Peralta's really dotting the outside corner on a lot of these righties, which is why he's been so good. Tyler Stevenson's been able to shoot that the other way with power. Like, so I'm good on taking him today. I think he can be the guy. And I thought about adding him to the prize pick section as well. And I'll definitely have him in a couple lineups. His little HRR is available, but I think he's going to be the guy for the Reds tonight. Absolute splooge.
I always like to look through book odds and see if anybody looks weird, anybody standing out, anybody who hasn't hit a ton of nukes this year, getting some respect. And he fell in that category, plus 350. I know he's been heating up recently. You're talking about him seeing beach balls. Sounds like he fits that Josh Bell narrative. Hop in while the fire's still hot, right? Strike while the iron's still hot with Stevenson and Bell as they continue to see beach balls. Cash the Crickets. Minus 800. Whoa.
Wow.
Kish is saying cash it. I don't know if that's true or not.
Cash.
We got Jersey coming in, resubbing as well. W Jersey and W Balla 22. Forgot if we shouted you out or not, but you're goated. Appreciate both you guys coming in hot with some resubs. Okay. Jovan, I wanted to ask you as well, because this just threw me off. I just locked in a 3-man because the Shane Smith earned run square is gone for now. Are they 6Xs? On prize picks now?
They changed a couple of the payouts. That's one of them.
Wow. That is electric.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Literally massive.
That could change everything. Yeah. You know, I'm the king of 3 pieces.
Yeah,
I haven't placed one in a couple of days, but
that's your thing. That could be big for
firing off some 3
big
pieces.
For the why am I blanking on the entries or the lineups we put out there?
B team,
A-team, yeah.
How could you ever
for
forget?
those? Little bump on those.
Nats getting dog walked by the Red Hot Cubs. Cubs minus 1.5 is free. Jovan, is that 10 chats we've seen now?
Yeah,
this might be
Marlins Rockies level from yesterday from stream.
I think I've seen double-digit chats and subbies now.
I've seen just about
and gassing up the Cubs.
Just about as many Cubs dog walking the Nats mentions as I did Max Meyer and the Marlins dog walking the Rockies. So it's probably a great sign for your Nats.
Yep. Hashtag Natitude. Hashtag fuck Max Meyer. He sucks.
Horrible.
Ian Happ. He's hitting a nuke off of Trevor Williams tonight. Talk about a guy who had crazy short odds who has not been hitting the long ball this season. Ian Happ fits that perfectly. And Jovan, he's up on the board for a 1.5 hit run RBI square, and he has not been hot of late. But wait, it gets weirder. It's a goblin. It should be a normal square with how he's been hitting. But going against Trevor Williams today in a game with a ton of runs, maybe that's why, and I'm sure the juice, lines up accordingly on the books. But I thought that was pretty telling and a good sign for Ian Happ, who has not been playing at his best. I like that 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, goblin square. I'll be looking to put that in with something later. But for now, I'll just take the plus 350 for him to go yah and hit a nuke in a game that we're seeing a bunch of runs in a game where he's facing Trevor Williams coming in off a shutout. Bless his heart. This is the worst matchup for Trevor Williams, a slow-throwing righty, Ian Happ, the veteran, who doesn't have the most elite bat speed still at this age. But this is the perfect matchup for him against a slow-throwing righty and Trevor Williams, who only really gets to 89 miles an hour. So cannot ask for a worse matchup for Trevor Williams, and I think that plays in Ian Happ's hands pretty well. Take him at plus 350 to hit a nuke.
Sure. Somebody's got to do it. Could be a good little, make me feel good about that over. In fact, your first your Dinger Tuesday plays are from that game.
2 guys in that game. Electric. We cash 1, if not both. And then we're rich.
Huge. Speaking about goated overs, A's over. We'll be back on the card today.
Sure.
And you know who else is back today for the first time after being sent down for being absolute horse meat? JJ Bleday. He's hitting 200 on the season, and he's always been like a guy who hits lefties pretty well, weird reverse splits for a lot of his career, but the splits were like drastic. I think he's hitting like 375 off of lefties and sub 200 against righties. So that's something that I kind of want to buy in the second he gets brought back up. I got him planned on it, and now that he's coming back against Pablo Lopez, who he's been really good, but he has allowed a ridiculous amount of fly balls like the past handful of starts. And The first time it noticeably actually bit him in the ass is his last start, which happened to be in the Rays against the Rays in Steinbrenner with really good hitting weather, which it's not quite as small of a field in Sacramento as Steinbrenner, but same thing. Like fly balls come back to bite you in those parks, and this is another one where I think he's in a pretty unfavorable spot where maybe you get a situation like Joe Ryan yesterday, where I mean he wasn't even really that good, but the bomb is what ended up biting him in the ass. I think it's going to be the same for Pablo Lopez today, especially after how fly ball prone he's been lately. The guy that I really want to buy into is the guy who's finally getting called back up after the organization just told him you are simply not cutting it, even though the entire lineup has been god awful pretty much. He just happened to be the guy that they used to make an example out of. But now he's coming back. I think he's going to spark the team, and I think he's hitting one out.
JJ fucking.
JJ fucking.
Who would have thought?
Good.
Only +6 hundo, probably because they're playing in that park. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a home run hitter.
Back.
First game back.
Okay. Fresh off the presses.
Fresh off the press. Very deliberate.
Wow. Jovan, I thought Juan Soto was going to go nuclear last night. Didn't. I think he went 1 for 4. Didn't do much. Again. At some point, he's going to splooge with probably a multi-home run game, to be honest with you. Could it be tonight against Clayton Kershaw, who's starting to dial in, right? 2 pretty good starts back-to-back after that atrocious one to start out his season after starting the year on the IL. But I kind of think it's Soto going yaya tonight. You only need 1. Fuck the 2 home runs. And in a game where I love runs, like the over in this game a ton, need to talk about that one a little bit more, but I think it's Soto who shows up, shows out against the lefty. Don't care if it's a lefty-lefty matchup. Doesn't matter. Like he does it on a low and away curveball. It takes it oppo left center field, and that ball is out of here in about 2 seconds. An absolute rocket. James Wood-esque, if you will. A Soto shot we haven't seen in a while, but the Soto shot that he got famous for. That's what you're going to see tonight. Oppo taco against one of the best pitchers in baseball. When the lights are brightest, this is when Juan Soto shows up. I know he hasn't this season, but he's got a lot of work to do, and he needs to make up some ground. It starts tonight against the future Hall of Famer, Clayton Kershaw.
Has to be done. Absolutely has to be done. I mean, at some point he's going to do it. Like in one of these big spots. It was a little, even though I was on the Mets side of backing them and unfortunately was not on the right side, I was a little worried about him yesterday. He did a double though, but I don't know. Nobody really wanted it. Maybe against Kershaw, he wants it tonight. The tougher matchup is, it always seems to be the one where Juan Soto actually pans out and hits nukes. So it could be the one.
It's when he has good matchups and he fucking rolls over everything. It's in the 2 double
rolls
plays.
over,
4.
Doesn't swing, 3 walks, doesn't score. It's always some bullshit. But whenever, I guess you expect it a little less, that's when he does it. But I could certainly be down.
Soto showing up tonight. Only plus 350.
And
what about Bellinger?
Last one, a little belly blast. Maybe you need the short porch. Maybe you don't. But Tanner Bibee's on the mound, who I believe the first time they faced off, I think it was in Cleveland, we backed him in that start, and they ended up winning the game. But now he gets to go on the road in a little short porch Yankee Stadium where not only do you have that to your advantage, especially for a lefty, but Bibee's also got like over a 5 ERA on the road compared to like 2.5 at home. So I'm expecting him to get hit up a little bit today, especially like I wanted to fade the Dodgers after that series against the Yankees. I want to do the same, I guess, in immediately backing some of the Yankees after that series, after they fell pretty short and just, I don't know, made it unwatchable for at least the first couple games and eventually got their win on Sunday Night Baseball. But disappointing series, I would say, as a whole. Now Tanner Bibee, who has had his fair share of struggles. He's better against lefties for the most part, but the power is still a massive issue on that side. So when you're playing in Little League Park against the guy that I think sees your entire pitch mix really, really well, yeah, I'm going to take a belly blast, who I believe has also been like a sneak Dinger Tuesday respecter. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I feel like he's kind of in those Corbin Carroll buckets where every Tuesday, maybe he's like Naylor-esque. You just see him popping up, whether people are taking him or not. But regardless of that, I'm taking him today.
Yep. Zach Mower, take the Juan Soto more than fantasy score. If you're taking him on Prize Picks, if you're looking for a book play, you could just take him to hit a fucking Nukenheimer at plus 350 and put a little bit less on it. Okay? W. Zach holding down the YouTube chat. W. Jovan coming in hot with the belly bomb. at +400. Sure.
Certainly.
Two legit lefties, Soto and Belly. Hopefully they both hit nukes tonight. Okay.
Sure.
W Dinger plays. Yes, Billy the Kids. And these will be posted on the Bookit BTL X later this afternoon. So you guys don't have to write them down or remember them, but you can if you want. But you'll see these puppies again on your feed here soon. Okay.
Ooh, I didn't even see this up there. I don't know if this was a newer ad, but do have a pretty interesting Bellinger HOR square you might be into, Krabs. Go ahead and take a look at that chart.
Wow. That would certainly play, Jovan. That would play and that would pay. Yeah. I'm in. That could be a decent replacement for the Shane Smith square, or you could just sack up and take Paul Skeens, more than 1.5 home runs allowed.
I feel like that's the one you really want here.
Yeah. That's probably the one right there, folks. Okay. Yankees win today, Nico's asking. Well, they better. They're -200. Why don't we take a look at Pickett Pro here for a sec, if we can, and get Pickett Pro up and moving. Take a look at some of these splits. We can start out with that Yankee game and see what people are betting on. Tanner Bybee versus Carlos Rodon. Two coin respecters so far this season, especially Rodon. Bybee's been kind of up and down, but overall he's been okay. Rodon has been a pleasant surprise this season. Again, he's locked in and pitched almost like an ace. And I never thought we'd see that again out of him, a guy who relies on, one pitch, his fastball. He's switched up his pitch mix a little bit, relied a little bit more on the off speed, and it's paid dividends. So shout out Carlos Rodon, I guess. I never thought I'd be saying that, but I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen out of him this year. Now, will that continue to last? I don't know. And against a scrappy lineup that likes to put the ball in play, doesn't strike out a ton, could be a recipe for disaster for the Yanks, for Rodon. But I will say that is some line respect for the Yanks against a good guards team that plays good teams, tight more often than not. I thought that was a pretty fat line. I know there's a Yankee tax, but Jovan, are you with me here? Were you thinking you were going to see something inside the, -175, -180 line instead of a -200 for the Yanks?
Yeah, maybe a little bit surprised. This seemed a little fat, but I know people are saying it in chat. Rodon against the guards, which is odd because he's always been a heavy strikeout guy. If he's not striking out guys, it's not his best start, and the guards really have never struck out that much, but he finds his way against them every single time, it seems, that he goes out there. So maybe that's cooked into it a little bit, but I think the Yanks might muck some chow.
Pretty telling line. Could be a pretty good lay piece for tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we able to look at Pickett Pro real quick and pull up some of these other games? Maybe take a peep at splits in this. I'd like to look at the splits in Sacramento and the splits in LA and see what people are betting on those totals. That would be elite. We'll see if we can get there. Take a peep. Sure we can. W. Goots, you're fucking him.
They're like Ma.
2 words. Goots is him. Let's take a peep at some of these splits. We got the Yankee splits up and moving. We've got everybody and their mother betting the under. Shocker. You got Bybee and you got Rodon on the bump. That should go well. That's sketchy.
Yeah.
Everybody betting the Yankees in this game as well. While they are -200, they are the Yankees. Okay. Not super surprising. Can we take a peep at Sacramento and Lopez versus Lopez and see what people are betting in that game? Lopez v. Lopez.
Jacob Lopez.
Lopez v. Lopez.
That was actually free to square, maybe a decade last time he was out there. People forget.
He was tossing Turks early and often.
More than 2.5 home runs. He didn't even finish the second inning. He gave up 7.
Early and often.
Yeah.
Yep. Are you surprised by any of these splits? I guess people betting the under is interesting.
Yeah, I'm
Probably
surprised there's that much on the under. I guess it's Pablo Lopez, but it's also Jacob Lopez. That shocks me, and that makes me even more so want to be back in on that over. I think the A's
taxes
help a lot more today.
And the over in Sacramento.
Yeah.
3 things we know for certain. Need
For
quick
certain.
thoughts on Sandy. Yeah, here's some quick thoughts on Sandy. Put your time and resources and money elsewhere. There's some thoughts on Sandy. Is that game going to be the freest under of all time? Yeah, probably, like I said earlier. So if you want to lock that in, go ahead. But life is better when you're not trying to catch the falling knife with guys like Sandy Alcantara. Life is better that way. Leave them off to the side. That's what I would do. Or if you want to get sharp, you could lock in the under in the game, or you could just cut the shit and lock in the Rockies team total under. After I locked that in yesterday, and it was the worst bet of the year. That could be a good one. Probably free today. Yep. But how many times are we going to back Sandy more than on Prize Picks, and then the guy goes out there and drops a stinker?
He's got to cut your losses.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. So this is probably when he throws a no-hitter tonight, but I can't do it. Can't do it. All right, you got some bets on the Twins, some bets on that under? Sure. Can we take a peep at one more game? Mets and Dodgers. Would love to see the splits in that puppy. Last game of the night. Damn. What the? All those people betting on the Mets. That's crazy.
Amigo, huh?
All those people betting the Mets and the over. Damn.
That's pretty interesting.
Certainly surprised to see all those people betting the Mets on the ML. You don't see people betting dogs like that. I know it's the Mets, but people like Miguel and they're kind of done with Kershaw, maybe?
I guess, yeah.
Mahoney, Kershaw's coming off of 2 gems, bro. He only had one bad
Kershaw,
start. It was just
say the first start. I think he came back. I think that was against the Angels. He was bad, but I mean, he just threw. He didn't really do much because of the rain delay, I guess, in the second start against the Mets. But he didn't give anything up, and then he just threw an absolute gem against the Cards. I'm a little surprised to see that.
So am I. Should be a pretty good sign for the Dodgers tonight. Rays report, Jovan. You like Rasmussen minus 140 against Maley?
I do. I just can never get to myself. Not just fading Maley, but whenever the Rays play the Rangers, they just forget how to play ball. So even if Raz has a really good start, which I think he does, the bats might just not show up. I don't know what voodoo magic they have when they play the Rays, but the Rangers just do some shit, man.
Okay. Maybe we'll stay off the Rays today then. All right. Well, chat, we only got a couple minutes left here before the Surge stream. Why don't we fire up these squad rides, get you guys another winner for tonight that we can all sweat out, lock in, and vote on together. Goots, do me a favor. Run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. W squad ride last night, chat. 1-0 in the month of June. Let's make it 2-0. Let's make it 2-0 after tonight. Okay? Jovan, I don't know what your favorite play is, but I'll give you some of my thoughts here. I really like the Astros, and I really like that first 5 under in the Tigers and White Sox. I like the D-backs too, but just not as much as those other 2 plays. And, I mean, look, if you want to get involved with that Marlins under, I'm going to need some selling, but I certainly do think that's a winner. Looking at your plays, I like them all.
Yeah, I do. Even though they're pretty much completely opposite plays, I do feel a little weird going back to the same game for 2 squad rides in a row. To maybe keep Red Sox out of there, even though I like that play.
Okay.
I mean, the Plums are in Great American Ballpark. I'll tell you that, Krabs.
Okay. We're putting that in.
Started there, never left.
Love that move up from 8 to 8.5. We'll put that puppy in there.
I will say I think the best fades that I've had of my pitcher fades have been when I've had overs in games where I don't even think it's all them. It's like I remember we faded Gallon, taking overs a few times last year where I was like super in on fading the other pitcher more so than him, and those felt like the games that consistently soared over. So maybe this is another one of those.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I want to put the Tigers White Sox first 5 under in here.
I'm in for that.
Do you want to put in the Nats over, or do you want to just make it a 2-piece?
I mean, that you get final say on that. What are you feeling in that game?
I don't think I should. I'm not
I
allowed to
think
bet
you
the
should.
Nats.
I think you should.
I'm not allowed to bet the Nats, though.
But it's like the Orioles. You're not allowed to bet just the Orioles. I feel like Trevor Williams is getting mucked. Just do you have your confidence in the boys to make it competitive, runs wise?
I mean, yeah, I do.
Just
I like seeing Trevor Williams' fantasy score back at 20, like it was
reach
last
into the
game
plums, Krabs. Reach into the plums. I don't give a shit that you were banning yourself from the Nats. Is it a green play or is it red?
Yeah, I think it's green.
Put it in.
Okay. Let's put it in. Let's go 3 plays, 3 winners. You guys got 2 minutes to vote. Hurry up, go, go, go. We got the Brewers and the Reds over 8.5. Fading Jovan's guy, Hunter Green. Total moving up from 8 to 8.5. We've got the Tigers and White Sox first 5 under 4.5, if you want to get a little nasty. And then the Cubs, Nats over 9.5. Hashtag Natitudes. 3 plays, 3 winners. 3 plays, 3 winners. Krabs, can you put the Grand Salami in the squad ride tomorrow or Thursday? Rowdy, we will check and see if we can. We will check the data, and we will see if we can tomorrow or Thursday. Okay, Beast? W's. 3 plays, 3 winners for today's squad ride, chat. Get involved. Don't just sit there if you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate you guys, but now's the time to make your way over to the Twitch page at Bookit Sports and lock in your votes in the squad ride poll. Still have about a minute left. Get involved. All right, 3 plays, 3 winners. How about the over in the Brew Crew and the Reds? How about a little first 5 under in the Tigers and the White Sox? And then the over in DC tonight, Nats and Cubbies. We'll get an over in that game. And then tomorrow it's Mackenzie Gore versus, I believe, the lefty on the Cubs, Matthew Boyd. And that game might have 0 runs through the first 6 innings of it. So hopefully we get a bunch of runs tonight. And then tomorrow, it's a nasty first 5 under probably in that game.
I'm shocked that the Nats are getting this many votes for how much Nats hate seeing in the chat.
I think the chat has become low-key Nats fans. I think they're kind of vibing with the Natitudes.
They might just want the Cubs to put up 10.
Yeah.
The first 5
that
under
could also be it.
might have no runs. But
yep. Nobody likes those first 5 under.
Shocked that we're not going to Great American. It's cool, though.
Cubs canceled out? Yeah. Good point, Coop. People all thinking the Cubbies are mucking up Trevor Williams. What if Trevor Williams is just back?
Can't be saying that as we're closing up the poll, Krabs.
He ain't back, bro. Kish is saying, yeah, we want to fly the Curly W. Yep.
Fly the W.
Want to fly the Walgreens W? And literally copy their W? Sure we can. Krabs turning this all into Nats fans. Yeah, Guru Griff. Hashtag Natitude, brother. Just like the Commanders. Although now I'm sure over the years they'll find some more haters because they're good. But much like the Commanders, who were voted last year the least hated team in the NFL, I feel like the Nats are a pretty low-hated team. Or I don't even know the right way to say that, but one of the least hated teams in Major League Baseball. They're not causing problems out there.
Yeah.
Middle of the pack, towards the bottom in recent years, but they're not causing any issues. Natitude. Lots of it. We're going to need it tonight, Jovan.
We need so much Natitude tonight.
We're going to need it tonight. All right, chat. Cubs and Nats over 9.5. W Snowman, party of 13, coming in hot with the raids. Appreciate all you goats coming in hot. Appreciate all the subbies, especially from Nerfy Chads, who's fucking goated. Nerfy Chad dropped 50 subbies. And Total Slayer dropped a bunch of subbies as well. We appreciate you, goats. Stick around for the Surge stream, and we'll catch you